I used to eat laxatives like they were candy when I was a little girl, but now I know why. When I was a young girl, between the ages of 8 and 10, I remember sneaking into the cabinet to get these chocolate looking candies, which were laxatives. It tastes good, but after eating them, I also had a bowel movement. Well, decades later, at the age of 65, the GI doctor, my gastroenterologist, discovered that I have a tortuous colon or a redundant colon. Some people even call it a twisted colon. And in today's video, I'm going to explain how I got relief from constipation, which is associated with a tortuous colon. And you might find out that you have one too, because 15% out of 27% of the people in the USA have a tortuous colon. So, write in the comments now. Let me know where you are watching from. Thanks for coming to my channel. My name is Sima, and I enjoy helping seniors with their health, happiness, and prosperity. So, in the comments, just write where you're watching from. Thanks so much. Now, one thing about the tortuous colon is that there is something you can do about it. There's two fixes that I did that helped me to relieve constipation. And constipation is a problem all across the USA. But before I tell you about those fixes, let me explain to you what a tortuous colon is. And I'll be reading it for you. So, the average colon of an individual is approximately 4.5 to 5.5 feet long. When you have a tortuous colon, though, it is elongated and it has twists and turns in it. Now, the effects of having a tortuous colon can be constipation, where your stools are hard to push out, and also you may have gas and bloating and some abdominal pains. So it puts you at a discomfort. You're uncomfortable, you're uneasy, and you might have a little anxiety on the side. We interrupt this broadcast today to announce that colon cancer is preventable. So please get your colonoscopy today. If you don't want to go to the doctor or to go to your gastroenterologist, get the Cologuard. And Cologuard can save your life. Now, here's what I did to help with my constipation. Number one, and this started last year when I turned the age of 65, I drastically increased my water intake. I was drinking more and more and more water than I had ever drank in my entire life. Here's the thing. When you are young, when you are a small child, you really don't know how to express discomfort or constipation, but you do the best that you can. But you don't always make it plain or clear that you're constipated. And some people just pass constipation off of eating the wrong foods. And your diet does affect your digestive system, and it can greatly increase you. And you can be fatigued at times as well. So, drinking your water, increasing your water intake is going to be monumental to get the change that you need for dealing with your tortuous or redundant colon. And later in the video, I'm going to share a little bit more about things that the doctors say about um, redundant colon. Now, the number two thing I did was I did change my diet. I increased my vegetables and especially my fruit intake. Now, I added bananas to my diet because it's high in fiber. Now, all foods that's high in fiber is not helpful for you because some foods high in fiber will give you gas and bloating. Bananas have worked out pretty well for me, as well as apples. And even with apples, they're a little bit acidic. So if you want something light and something easy, maybe oranges will help you. But keep that water on tap, keep that water available to you. I also add leafy greens. Leafy greens like your kale and your spinach. I'm not a kale fan, but definitely the spinach intake and leafy green vegetables. And also cucumbers. Cucumbers are very helpful. Now, I have a video where I tell you about the probiotic, the miracle probiotic that also helped save me, and that's the dried prune. That's just a bonus tip for you. Watch that video and you'll learn a little bit more about that. And a lot of people are really liking that and appreciate that video. I'll put a link in the description. Here's what the doctors say about a tortuous colon. You may be constipated often. That means difficult or hard stools to pass. Um, you may have infrequent bowel movements. So instead of on a daily basis, it may be several days. Now, I've heard of some people not having a bowel movement for, a couple of weeks, and that is ridiculously crazy, right? Because it'll make you tired, fatigued, and irritable, all of those things. So you got to get those bowels moving and push it out through the colon. And the colon is extra long. With a tortuous or redundant colon, it's extra long. It's longer than average. The other thing you may experience is some abdominal pain. Um, and listen, all of these things can be dealt with. If you're in that extreme level, you may need to get more, do things more often, like your exercise. And I'll throw that in at the end too. One more thing I'll share with you about exercise. The other thing is you may have gas and bloating. So imagine for years and years in my life, I'm living with a tortuous colon, and come to discover at 65 when I get my colonoscopy. Oh my goodness. Newsworthy. This is eye opener. This is breaking news for me that I have a tortuous colon, and you might have one too, because 15 to 27% of people, that's a lot of people. So I would say if 1,000 people watch this video, there's going to be at least 115 people who have the tortuous colon. It's interesting. Or it's going to be 200, almost 300 people watching this video, because it's between 15 to like 25 or 27% of people watching this video. I was watching a doctor. He was just sharing some things on YouTube about the tortuous colon. So it's livable, but I do know of a friend of mine that she has it, and it's every 3 years she has to have a colonoscopy. So check in with your gastroenterologist. And some people, if you have not had a colonoscopy and you're over 50, get your colonoscopy. What is interesting, at my first colonoscopy, and I was 50-ish years old. I was about 54 years old. The doctor didn't catch it then. And it is possible that it developed or it worsened over time. Um, and so I go back to say, when I was a kid, that's what I was experiencing, I believe, because your colon develops by the age of 10, the age of 10 years old. So that's my story about the tortuous colon. It's not that it tortures you, but it's interesting the term that is used for this redundant colon. And these are interchangeable terms: redundant, tortuous, and twisted. And elongated is another one. It's longer than average. Well, thanks for watching, and check out my next video. Talk about health, fitness, things that'll help you grow as a senior in your life. That'll help you with your adult children as well. Take care.